problem that expects you to understand the concept of the 5-number summary. But it's not going to be one where you have to develop like that 46 question item that was on the test where you had to put in all that data and then do a mass analysis of the problem. They're going to give you a set of data that's already been analyzed. And they're going to say, now that it's been analyzed, tell us what these values mean. The fact that it's a 5-number summary tells us that we've taken the entire data set down there and we've broken it up into 4 groups. And each of those groups contains 25% of the people. Therefore, every question on a 5-number summary has to be something that involves a 25, a 50, a 75, or 100%, or a 0% for that matter. So don't confuse this with the 68, 95, 99.7 rule. That's when they tell you the distribution was normal, and when I read this problem, I don't see anything about a normal distribution. The 5-number summary tells me that 18 is the minimum value, that 23 is the value that sits at quartile number 1, giving us the lower 25%, that 28 is the middle value, which is our median, that 33 is the value that's at quartile 3, giving us the third quarter, 3 quarters, okay? And then that's the value of 48 out here, gives us the maximum value. Typical values, central tendency. Central tendency values, mean, median, mode. Nowhere in the 5-number summary does it target the mode. Nowhere in the 5-number summary does it target the mean. So a typical value has to target the median. So the test that has misspelled words, the typical number of misspelled words would be 28. Interquartile range. Interquartile means that you're talking about what goes on between Q1 and Q3. And between Q1 and Q3 means you're talking about 50% of all your observations. So you're not always going to have just 50, you're going to sometimes have, not always going to have 25s, you might have some collections that give you larger percentages that have been accounted for. Shows that half, there's the 50%, half of the students taking the test misspelled more than, targeting which value?
23.
More than, so 23, because that's quartile number 1, but less than,
33.
so those are the sandwich endpoints, and that would be 33. And you need to read that carefully because they're not always going to use more than and less than. They might say at least this many questions, which is the upper endpoint, but at most this many questions, which is the lower endpoint. So be careful about getting those values in the right place, because some of you lost points just because you put the values in the wrong place. About 3/4, so now we're coming back, 3/4, 3 of the 25% sections are fewer than, or are lower than, or are below what point?
48.
Thought 48 was the maximum value.
Oh, 30.
23.
3/4, 3 25% brackets. 1, 2, 3. are below
33.
this value. Not this. I got only 1/4 back there. I got 3/4 that are above that. But they didn't ask for more than. If they asked for more than, yes, that would have been the correct answer. So again, you got to read carefully because they're directing you, am I taking the left-hand section, or am I taking the right-hand section, or am I taking a middle section of the problem? Little things. This problem should be a gift problem. Should take you less than a minute to do because all the information is in front of you already. It's just answering the questions. So in here, we should have that 33 value. No one is below what?
18.
No one's below 18. No one is above what?
48.
So different questions target different points of the problem. So you use those clues about more than, less than, fewer than, whatnot, and sometimes you target that into a to the left of or to the right of or below if you're thinking about a vertical stack in the problem. Don't let those problems slip away from you. Those are the easy problems out there. And you will have one that will be phrased pretty much like this. In the workbook, I think the problem we had was the cigarette taxes. We saw one that had basketball scores in a basketball game. That might have been in the workbook. Some of these were things that were on the homework exercises. Some of them were on the workbook pages. So these are the type of things that trying to make sure that you don't lose those easy points and get through them quickly because you have plenty of time to take the test, but you don't want to really fixate it and waste a lot of time with something like this.